Hi people, Brini Maxwell here, and this week on the podcast, we're making the perfect cucumber sandwich. Now, cucumber sandwiches have a long and storied history in pop culture, with references in such important pieces of literature as The Importance of Being Earnest. So they must be treated with reverence. There are a few precedents that must be observed when making one. And they have to do with the thickness of the bread, the lack of crusts, and the thinness of the cucumbers. You need to be aware that it's not a British cucumber sandwich if you add anything more than bread, cucumbers, and a light touch of butter. However, you can, Americanize it by adding some other things, and we'll be showing you examples of both. So let's get started, shall we? Now, we're going to start by slicing our cucumbers. Now, as you can see, I have ridged this cucumber here with my fork, and it's a very easy thing to do by just drawing the fork down the side of the cucumber. You create these charming ridges. Now, you'll notice that when you do that, you get a very lovely little slice. And they say that a cucumber slice is judged by the ability to read a newspaper through it. I don't think I've quite achieved that there, but we'll try again. We'll see if this works better. Oh! Well, there we go. Half a slice. Oh well. Spoils of war. Ever so thin. It's ever so important. That looks like it's getting to be what it should be. Alternatively, you can use a peeled cucumber, and we'll show you what that's like. We just set these peels aside. And again, the key is to make the slices paper thin. Now, it's easier to do if you're using a peeled cucumber because you don't have to fight your way through that peel on the outside. And there we have it. Isn't that charming? So much for the cucumbers. Let's talk about the bread, shall we? Now, the bread should be thin enough to allow light to pass through it. And I think that's looking pretty good. The important thing about the bread is that it not have crust on it. So we're just going to slice the crusts off here and set them aside. Isn't that darling? And this particular slice will be sliced in half, and that will create a charming little cucumber sandwich. Now, our next step is going to be to ever so lightly butter our bread. It should be a very thin layer. And the reason for the butter is to keep the moist cucumber slices from soaking the bread through. And there we have it. Now, a few delicate slices of cucumber. And that is a nicely made traditional cucumber sandwich. There we have it. Isn't that charming? Perfect for tea. Now, let's talk about, giving it a little touch of spark, shall we? Now, that can be done with the addition of one of my very favorite herbs, chives. And it's very simple to do. One of the nice things about chives is that they can be easily put into your cooking with the scissors by just simply cutting. You create your trimmed chives. Isn't that darling? All right, now, this sandwich is going to feature our ridged cucumbers, and again, butter. Oh, the smell of fresh chives. So refreshing. Now, our fresh chives can just be lightly sprinkled onto our buttered bread here. And then we add our cucumbers. And another darling cucumber sandwich. Isn't that charming? I like to present my cucumber sandwiches on a darling little plate with lovely little green napkins. The green in the cucumber sandwich and the green in the napkin just make for a very fresh presentation. And this is how I like it to look. Now, our lovely little linen napkins here in this charming shade of green are perfect for tea. And that's what cucumber sandwiches are all about. You could also serve cucumber sandwiches for, well, bridge luncheons or as canapés for cocktail parties. And they're just delicious. So come by BriniMaxwell.com for the recipe, and don't forget to tune in again next week. We'll have some more fun things to talk about. Until then, I'm Brini Maxwell. Bye now.
The spirit is moving, traveling along. The spirit is going, and you know it never goes wrong. Hold on to the spirit, playing till it sticks. That wonderful spirit.